Let's finish the logic gates in next 10 to 15 minutes. In your NEET examination, 2 to 3 questions are asked from this particular topic. So do not leave this at any cost. I'll be starting from the scratch and I'll tell you each and every single thing, whatever is there in the logic gates. Now, my dear NEET aspirants, the first thing, in logic gates, we'll be having a device which takes input, okay, which produces output. Input is A and B. Output is, let's suppose, A plus B. So what is the job of this device? To do the addition A plus B. Now, this input and output can be in the form of 0 or 1. 0 also means 0 volt, 1 means 5 volts, or low, high, off, on. Okay, this is what we call digital signal. Input and output means digital signals. Now, Boolean algebra. Here also we do addition, multiplication and inverse. Let's suppose you have low plus low is low. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 1. Okay. A plus 0 is A. Similarly, you can see 0 into 0 is 0. Low into low is low. Low into high is low. 1 into 1 is 1. A plus 0 is 0. You can see it over here. Like inverse 1. Inverse of 1 is 0. Inverse of 0 is 1. That is reverse, opposite of 0 is 1. That's what it is meaning over here. Then, my dear NEET aspirants, De Morgan's law. De Morgan's law says that if you have A plus B whole bar, if you want to break this bar, you can, but this sign changes to the multiplication. A bar, A, B bar, you can break this bar, but this sign changes to the addition. Then, my dear NEET aspirants, there are 3 fundamental gates. We say not, or, and. The first gate that we need to understand, that is, I would say, NOT gate. We say its job is to do inverse. This is the symbol of NOT gate. See, this symbol, this one. So let's suppose if you give input as A, its job is to do inverse. It will give you output as A bar. And Boolean expression is, I would say, y is equal to A bar. Now, if you give input, this is the truth table, relation between input and output. If you give input as 0, output will be 1, because its job is to do inverse. If you give input as 1, output will be 0. Okay, this is the electrical equivalent circuit of NOT gate. So here this key means input, bulb means output. When key is on, then the current will flow through this. It will not flow through the bulb. Current always prefers that path in which there is less resistance. Bulb has large resistance. So we say bulb remains off. When this is off, means this is disconnected, then current has to flow through the bulb. Bulb remains on. So this circuit exactly looks like NOT gate. Then OR gate. What is the work of OR gate? So first of all, the symbol of OR gate is this. If this is A, this is B, its job is to do the addition. Okay, so we say this is the Boolean expression. Now, if A is truth table, if A is 0, B is 1, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 1, 0 plus 0 is 0. And you see this one, output is high. This output is high when any of the 2 inputs is high. When any of the 2 inputs is high, output is high. And output is low when both the inputs are low. Now, this is the electrical equivalent circuit of, I would say, which gate? OR gate. Okay. Now, this is input 1, input 2, K1, K2. If this remains off, this remains off, we say bulb remains off, off, bulb remains off. Similarly, if this remains on, current can flow through this, bulb remains on. If any of the 2 inputs is high, bulb, we say output is also high. Then we say AND gate. AND gate is simply, its job is to do multiplication. If you have A, if you have B, we say, my dear NEET aspirants, its job is to do A multiplied by B. And Boolean expression is A into B. We say truth table is, if A is 0, B is 1, 0 into 1 is 0, 1 into 0 is 0, 1 into 1 is 0. Sorry, 0 into 0 is 0, 1 into 1 is 1. Now see, output is low when any of the 2 inputs is low. And output is high when both the inputs are high. That is mentioned over here. Now, electrical equivalent circuit of AND gate. That circuit which exactly looks like AND gate. This one. So, in this particular case, when this is low, this is high, output will be low. Okay, bulb will remain off. See, when any of the 2 inputs is low, output is low. When both the inputs are high, means when this is connected, current can flow, bulb remains on, which is shown over here. Then, my dear NEET aspirants, you have NOR gate. NOR gate simply means when OR gate is combined with NOT gate, it forms NOR gate. This is OR gate, A plus B. This is NOT gate. Now, see, A and B is the input. Its job is to do the addition. Its job is to do the inverse. So, A plus B whole bar will be the output. So, directly you can make it like this. Instead of this, you can put the ball over here. So, output of NOR gate is Y is equal to A plus B whole bar. This is the Boolean expression, my dear NEET aspirants. And if you make the truth table, table. So we say A plus B, then put the bar. A plus 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 bar is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 bar is 0. 1 plus 1 is 1. 1 bar is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 bar is 1. Okay. Output is low. Output is low when any of the two inputs is high. And output is high when both the inputs are low. This is the circuit which exactly behaves like NOR gate. You can do the analysis from your end. Then, my dear NEET aspirants, single input NOR gate. If this input and this input are connected, we say single input NOR gate. You directly remember single input NOR gate is what? NOT gate. Because see, this is the explanation I have given over here. Directly remember single input NOR gate is NOT gate. Then, my dear NEET aspirants, this is the question over here. This was asked in NEET 2017. You can check it from your end. So this is NOR gate, A plus B bar. Then this is single input NOR gate. It will put double bar. This double bar will be cancelled. So again, final output is A plus B bar. Okay, so this is a NOR gate. So it is mentioned, it is solved over here. Then, my dear NEET aspirants, NAND gate. NAND gate is simply when AND plus NOT is combined, it means NAND. This is AND, its job is to do the addition. Then further when it goes here, its job is to put the bar, it will do the inverse. So this is the final symbol of this one. This is the Boolean expression. Now this is the truth table. This is 0, 1. 1, 0 into 1 is 0. So 0 bar is 1. 1 into 0 is 0. 0 bar is 1. 0 into 0 is 0. 0 bar is 1. So output is high when any of the two inputs is low, and output is low when both the inputs are high. You can see it over here, my dear NEET aspirants. Okay, this is the circuit, electrical equivalent circuit of what? NAND gate. Now see, in this circuit also, when this is off, bulb still remains on because current will flow through this path, so bulb still remains on. So when this is off, bulb remains on. When this is on, connected, this is on, we say current will flow through this, bulb remains off. So you can check it from your end. Now I have added this question. This is your homework, my dear NEET aspirants. And this question, this is your homework, my dear NEET aspirants. Thank you so much. Take care and bye-bye.